Dropouts, what's poppin'? It's your boy Jordan Dropout coming at you live from the 305 plus 596. And today, some of y'all about to be real mad at me, but it must be said. Shazam is hitting theaters this weekend, and we all know that's the appetizer while we wait on the main course, Endgame, coming in a couple more weeks. But I was lucky enough to see Shazam a couple weeks ago, so here's my thoughts on the film. I want to preface this video by saying that I'm not the biggest DC fan in the world. I'm not a DC hater by any means, but ever since I was a kid, I've resonated more with Marvel, as you can see in the background. Now, I'm saying this to say that I don't know the most about the Shazam character, but I do think that I get the basis of the character. Billy Batson is a kid that inherits the powers of 6 wizards, and he's able to summon the powers of Shazam by saying Shazam. And I'm just going to say straight off the bat that I like this movie. Yes, I did. Shazam is my favorite film in the DCEU so far. And while no film is perfect, so you know I did have a couple issues with this, but nothing major. I think it was a good film. This is a fun movie, and while I want to say that it doesn't take itself too seriously, there is some heavy moments in this movie. There is some heavy dialogue. It gets dark. It can kind of tug on your emotions a little bit. But I'm not going to get into that. I don't want to get into spoilers. But I do love how the trailers give you an idea of the film without giving away too much at all. There's a lot in this movie that you would have no idea was in it going by the trailers, and I love that about it.
Take notes, Sammy.
The characters in this film, I think, are all fine. The main character of the film, Billy Batson, of course, I think he did a good job with his lines. He delivered his lines, and the sad parts, he did have some emotion in it and make him sad. But I think the character that really stole the show in this film was the crippled child. Man, that sounds terrible to say, but I do not remember the actor's name, and I do not remember his name in the film. Like I said, I don't know much about Shazam, but he stole the show. I also really enjoyed the moments with his little sister. I'd say the weakest character in this movie was his foster dad. I don't remember his name either, but he plays Jerry in The Walking Dead. All of his lines came out flat to me. They felt forced, but he's just a minor character, so it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Now, the movie is a little slow in the beginning, but after he does get the powers of Shazam, it does pick up. And I know I said that the trailers don't show you much of anything that you get in this actual film, but what you see with Shazam in the trailers is pretty much what you get throughout. But I don't think that's a bad thing, because he is an adult superhero. Well, he's a child with the powers of an adult superhero, so. I mean, think back to when you were 15 and imagine you getting all this power. How would you act? I mean, I think they nailed the character of Shazam from what I know of the character. Now, Dr. Savannah, the trailers really showed you nothing about this character. You're in for a lot of surprises when you see this film. There's a lot of stuff that happened in this film that I was not expecting to see, especially involving the Dr. Savannah character. And some stuff that I would be a little careful about bringing smaller kids with, because I would think that some of this stuff could probably cause nightmares. Because I was actually at the theater with a friend, my friend's son. He's 6 years old, and when certain stuff happened, he actually said, I'm gonna have nightmares about this. So I just say be careful, maybe cover up some eyes on a couple of parts, because there is some scary parts in this for a child. Again, I don't know much about Shazam or the Shazam mythos, but I think Dr. Savannah was a solid character in the film. I liked him in this movie. Now, as I said earlier, the movie is fun. I think the characters are good. I think the action is good, and I also think the acting was good. But, like I also said earlier, no movie is perfect, and I did have some issues with this one. One of the issues being, without giving any spoilers, the fact that most of the action scenes involving Shazam kind of seemed like he was running away versus actually doing what he needed to do. And I understand he's a kid. He's a kid. He doesn't know what to do, because he doesn't know what to do. He just got these powers. I get that. But there comes a point when you have to man up and get it done. And I feel like this movie didn't do a great job of showing him step up to the plate. He stepped up to the plate, but I feel like he should have stepped up earlier. Without giving any spoilers, there's a lot of him backing down in this film, and it did kind of start to get on my nerves. But that's the only issue that I really had with this film, so I guess that's a win in DC's book in my eyes. So, should you go see Shazam this weekend? I say yes. Aquaman wasn't my favorite movie, but I know a lot of people did like it, and I still feel like DC is going in the right direction with that film, even though I personally feel like that film wasn't great. This is the new DCEU, starting with Wonder Woman. You skip Justice League and then Aquaman and Shazam. This is them correcting the ship. Justice League was just like too far in development and too much other stuff going on for them to actually salvage that film. So that's back in the Man of Steel, Justice League, and what's that other film? BVS. Those films are kind of like back when they were going another direction. So from Wonder Woman to Aquaman to Shazam, you can tell that the DCEU is going in a different direction, and it's a direction that I think is the right direction for them to be going. Shout out to Jody's Corner. He called it. He did say that Justice League would be more like the older movies, and it makes sense. So much stuff was going on with that. They didn't have time to salvage it and do what they needed to do to make that be more like the direction that they were going. But, you know, what can you do? The DCEU is starting to step up. It's looking better and better. I'm excited to see what they do with Shazam in the future. I'm excited to see what they do with the DCEU just in general. There are 2 post-credit scenes, so make sure you stick around for those because they're both are pretty cool. The credits in general were cool in this film. I say give it a watch. If you were thinking about going, go. I don't think you'll regret it. This is a nice appetizer while we wait on the main course. Couple more weeks, man. We in there. But alright, y'all. This your boy Jordan Dropout, and I'm signing out. So as always, y'all be good, be blessed. Later.